Don't look beyond the fact that Mexico City is one of the most polluted, populated, and crime-ridden cities in the world, which is a shame because this is where Mexico's political, cultural, economic, and intellectual life has been centered for thousands of years. So, if you're genuinely interested in Mexico and Mexicans, then this is the city to hit.
At 8,000 feet, Mexico City is one of the highest cities in the world, and with a population of 25 million, it is also one of the biggest. Mexico is a vast country sharing one border with the United States and the other with Central America. The Aztecs founded Mexico City in 1319. Their civilization ended when the Spanish conquered the country in 1521. Today, it's a city where modern skyscrapers tower over Indian markets and Spanish churches.
For a place to stay in the heart of Mexico City, around the downtown main square called the Zócalo. According to the guidebooks, there's lots of hotels around here. I'm just hoping I can find a room that's not too noisy, not too expensive, and with a great view.
The downtown, or Centro Histórico, buzzes with the most visual chaos in the city, and with so much to see, a 360 view can be had for less than $5 an hour from a taxi bike.
No? Just 1 minute? Momentito. Looks promising. Full and noisy.
The largest concentration of hotels is in the Centro Histórico, and just trying to find one is a great introduction to the disorderly order that makes Mexico City so unique.
Such a chutzpah, such a fraud for the management to be renting out rooms in the hotel while they're rebuilding it. Ruido, mucho ruido.
Traffic is congested, especially in the Centro, but inhaling exhaust from the back of a taxi bike is a small price to pay for getting around it so quickly.
Is this it? Ah, perfecto. Gracias. Hola. Bien, gracias. ¿Tienes un cuarto? You have a room?
Mira, por el momento el hotel está lleno.
It's
solamente,
full.
Sí. Tengo una habitación, pero sin baño.
You have a room that doesn't have a bathroom in it. And 80 pesos, like $8. Does it have a view? Una vista? It has a view? See? Mm-hmm. Can I see it? Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
What is that?
It's an ice axe for climbing. I'm heading off to climb some volcanoes just outside of town.
Great. Yeah.
Should be
Climbing
good.
a volcano. Good luck.
Thank you. Have a good trip.
Yeah. I've got a neighbor with an ice pick. That's not bad. It's not as noisy or as dirty as some of the other rooms I've seen. It's just clean and basic, and got a nice sink, some monogrammed towels, monogrammed ashtray, some water. I feel like the management cares about their guests. It's got a big safe, TV, and a good bed, essential. Monogrammed sheets. Let's check out the view. Wow!
Every now and again, the powers that be in Mexico City try to do something to improve the deteriorating air quality. So they created the eco-taxi, which are all these green beetles. And they're called eco-taxis because theoretically they use the most expensive, purest petrol. The truth is, all the taxis use the cheapest gasoline, and that's why we're all... Gracias. If you're really safety conscious, there's 4 things you can check even before you get in a taxi. Gracias. You want to make sure that there are license plates on the taxi and that it's the same number that matches the number that's painted on the car. And you want to make sure that your driver has an honest face and that his face is the same face as the picture on the registration. And you want to make sure that the meter's running. And the most important thing is to enjoy, relax, if you can. What a beautiful fountain! Although it can be the quickest way to get around this massive city, taxi crime is an issue, particularly for tourists. At night, it is inadvisable to hail one from the street. Mexico City is divided into 400 neighborhoods, and all the extremes of Mexico are here. One moment, the city is poverty, overcrowding, and bad smells. The next, it's glamour, music, and color. There's been a market in this spot ever since the time of the Aztecs, and when the Spanish came 500 years ago, they discovered things growing here in the New World that no one had ever seen before in Europe. Basic things like the potato, tomatoes, corn, all different kinds of beans, tobacco, avocados. And walking around this market, you can feel a little bit like one of those early European explorers because there are things here that I have never seen before. Every town has at least one mercado, or market. This is La Merced, one of the city's largest food markets. I knew when I came to Mexico that I would see the chili, but I never expected to see such a variety. Mexicans can't live without chilies, and they know which ones will make your eyes water and your mouth feel like it's on fire. Ask before you bite. How many chilies are there? ¿Cuántas variedades?
No, hay como 150 variedades de chile.
150 different kinds of chilies. What do we have here? ¿Qué es esto?
Tripas
Ah, tripe. ¿De qué?
de pollo,
Ah, it's chicken guts. ¿Y qué es esto?
nopales.
Ah, cactus. That's delicious. Chapulines. Oh, I've heard about these. These are bugs. They eat a lot of bugs in this country. It tastes just terrible. Can I try one of these? Oh, picante. ¿Y qué es esto?
Aguaucle.
¿Cuál?
Viene siendo huevera de mosco.
No, mosquito eggs? These are eggs from mosquitoes. And he's saying that you can eat them wrapped up in a tortilla or with a little cactus. I don't think I'm gonna try those. Walking around Mexico City, you might find yourself in one of the many workshops where baskets, masks, bark paintings, and glassware are made by hand, both for daily use and for tourists. In almost every home and business, you will find an altar to the Mother of Mexico, the Virgin de Guadalupe. For centuries, Mexicans have taken handcrafts from all over the world and using traditional methods have transformed them into uniquely Mexican objects. Most Mexican glassware is recycled. The old crushed glass is melted at temperatures of up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which enables it to be worked. The molten glass is then rolled, blown, shaped, and finally, skillfully fashioned into something beautiful or just plain useful.
I'd love to take something like this home, but might get broken in my backpack, so I'll take 2 tequila glasses.
When the street bustle becomes too much, there are plenty of open spaces surprisingly close to the city. There are 4 main bus terminals which will get you to just about any place you wish to go.
Por Teotihuacan, just una? No, ¿sí? 15 pesos. 15 pesos. Gracias. Hola. Teotihuacan. Sí. Gracias. ¿Puedo sentarme acá? Gracias.
Less than 1 hour's drive from Mexico City and just beyond the city's smog is the ancient city of Teotihuacan.
Teotihuacan reads like one of those great mystery stories. At the height of the civilization of Teotihuacan, around 400-500 AD, over 200,000 people were living there, and it was one of the biggest, if not the biggest city in the whole world. And then all of a sudden, it went into decline, and nobody knows why, and all the records and all the artwork were destroyed, so that today archaeologists can only guess at the basics: their history, their culture, their society, what language did they speak, what were the main tenets of their religion. And when the Aztecs first saw Teotihuacan, they were so impressed with the place, even though it was in ruins, that they called it Teotihuacan, which means the place that men became gods. Dramatic stuff, huh?
The archaeological site opens at 8 a.m. and closes at sunset. It's a good idea to arrive early before the heat of the midday sun and the busloads of tourists arrive. Teotihuacan is best known for its pyramids, one to the sun and one to the moon. The city was built without the use of metal, cattle, or even the wheel, and the pyramids were completed sometime between 150 and 300 AD.
Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent. Tlaloc, the god of rain.
The city's influence on later cultures was huge. Many of its gods, such as the feathered serpent and the god of rain, were adopted and worshipped by the Aztecs 1,000 years later.
Imagine this place completely covered in bright colors.
After the city's decline, Teotihuacan became a pilgrimage center for Aztec priests. They called the main avenue the Street of the Dead, and most of what there is to see lies along the 4 miles of this street.
The only way to climb these steep steps is diagonally. Well, I could have climbed the pyramid to the sun, but I thought it was more appropriate that I climb the pyramid to the moon. Not just because the pyramid to the moon is smaller, but because it's a woman thing, isn't it? The moon. Almost there. I did it! Incredible place. Massive. There's no way to see the whole city of Teotihuacan, even if you start first thing in the morning and you leave when they close in the evening. But definitely a place to come back to.
Back in Mexico City, I met up with Tommy Glassford, an American artist living in the Zocalo, or Main Square. Like Tommy, many artists are attracted to the drama of Mexico's history and take great interest in the origins of their neighborhood.
This is your studio.
This is it. I chose to be here downtown because it was such a grand environment. Plus, the spaces here are really great for an artist. This was the actual waterway which led right to the Zocalo, which is at the corner.
So the water came straight to the Zocalo. The whole city was full of canals, right?
Right. Here's the Zocalo, which is the main square of the city. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's like the heart of Mexico. And before it was pyramids, and now it's all this colonial architecture.
And the faces, I'm always so amazed. The faces are the same faces that you see carved into temples and paintings of these pre-Hispanic faces.
They're classic kings and warriors all over the streets today. This is a serpent head piece of sculpture off of the pyramid that has been taken in place as the cornerstone for this entire structure.
This is Aztec?
Yes.
This is original?
This is original.
Wow. That was where they had the Inquisition?
This is where they had the Inquisition, and later it turned into the first medical school in the New World. Ironically enough, it goes from torture to medicine. So what do you think, Justine?
I think my feet hurt from walking, my head hurts from talking. I need to stop and let it all sink in.
Mexico City's Museum of Anthropology is considered one of the best of its kind in the world. It houses archaeological treasures charting Mexican culture from prehistoric times right through to modern indigenous life.
This is the most fascinating piece of work for me at the museum. It's called Cuatlicue, which means skirt of serpents, and is the goddess of earth. And actually what she has for a head, if you can see right here in the skin of the serpent, there's a square and a little circle inside, which is the Aztec symbol for blood. So what she actually has as a head is two great spurts of blood that go all the way around, making two heads, two serpent heads.
They come out of her neck.
That's right. And they're like kissing each other, and you can see the teeth and the tongue that makes the mouth of the goddess. Yeah. And on her breast she has a collar with hands and hearts. And then all the way around she has the serpent skirt, which is pinned on her back with another skull. And also her shoulders are serpent faces. And that center over there is actually the center of Tenochtitlan, which is the same as this one.
And is this what the Zocalo is today?
It's the same place. It's just like they all put the pyramids down and destroy everything.
So the colonialists destroyed all these buildings
and put the church over them. What priests did in order to perform the human sacrifices is to, well, kill the person, and then they took the skin of the person out, and with hair and everything the priest put the skin over him, and then he took the beating heart, and in one of these he dumped the heart also beating.
Like
and
in this, like
in this rock.
This rock saw many beating hearts.
That's right, and also this one.
Yeah.
This one has skulls all over it.
And the priests wore the skin of their victim?
They used to do that, yes.
Imagine going to France and not drinking champagne or turning.
At the end of a busy day, hundreds of city dwellers head downtown to the Arena Coliseo for some good old-fashioned entertainment.
Mexicans are obsessed with spectator sports, and after football, this masked wrestling called Lucha Libre is the most popular. And I just got a front row ticket for only $3.
Lucha Libre, which means free fighting, is a type of professional Mexican wrestling that's just as much about showbiz as sport. Participants sporting macho names like Shocker, Karate Boy, and Heavy Metal wind up the crowd and each other, and everyone gets to let off steam.
Who are you for? What team are you for?
Okay. The guys in that corner are the evil guys,
So those,
the bad boys.
Those are the bad guys.
Yes, bad boys.
Bad guys.
And this is the good boys.
The good guys. And you're for the?
I'm with the...
You're for the bad guys?
Yes! Yes.
People are so into it,
They're all-
especially the women.
I think that woman, they're screaming a lot of bad words.
Really?
Yes. At me.
Some of these wrestlers have used their popularity to become political figures and social campaigners. Best known are Super Barrio, who struggles for fair rents and decent housing, and Super Ecologista, who campaigns for environmental issues.
Doesn't that hurt?
Duro! 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 Duro!
Doesn't that hurt?
Oh, you think so?
It looks like it hurts.
Yes, it hurts.
So how much of it is play and how much of it is real?
This is real.
This is real
They know
hurting.
how to fall, how to hit each other. But this is real.
Oh, so they rehearse all of this.
All of this.
They practice all of this.
They practice, but it hurts. Breaker.
Backbreaker. I can see why they call it that.
Day 5, and I'm heading 100 miles southwest of Mexico City to the colonial city of Tasco. Set on a steep hillside, Tasco's narrow streets and beautiful plazas combine to make it one of the most picturesque and well-preserved colonial cities in the country. The scenery may be good for the soul, but there's more to Tasco than just a stunning view.
Cortez and his men hungered for gold, and they found it. But the real treasure in Mexico turned out to be silver, and this little primitive mining camp called Tasco went boom and turned into one of the wealthiest colonial cities in Mexico. Breakfast. Un atole con chocolate e un tamale. Sí. It's a typical Mexican breakfast. It's lots of corn. The atole is a drink from the Aztec time. It's corn flour, and this one's got corn flour with chocolate in it. Gracias. It's just deliciously sweet, thick chocolate corn milk drink. Quiero verde, tamale verde. And the tamales, oh, I love tamales so much. Tamales are cornmeal stuffed with something sweet or savory, wrapped in a corn husk and steamed. And oh, I love them so much. How much is it? 3 pesos por todos? 6 pesos, that's 50 cents for a good hot meal with lots of carbohydrates. Great way to start the day. Hotel Melendez, por favor. Hotel Melendez. I've heard it's a sweet, inexpensive hotel that looks out over the Zócalo. Por favor, Hotel Melendez. Hotel Melendez. Hotel Melendez? Sí? Ah, okay. Ah. Hotel Melendez. This was the first hotel built in Tasco. And this is the last room they had left. Oh my gosh. It's big enough for a family of 25. Let's take a look at the bathroom. Good. Nice, clean, color-coordinated toilet, sink, and shower. And let's check out these beds. I feel like Goldilocks. Oh, too soft. Too bumpy. Too comfortable. Too many. And an amazing view.
The most common food in Mexico is the tortilla. These thin, round patties are made of either pressed corn or wheat flour and can be wrapped around any kind of food or just eaten on their own.
Hola. ¿Puedo comprar un tortilla? Una. Gracias.
Ahí hay sal.
¿Ah?
Sal.
Sal. Ah, sal.
Taco.
Gracias. Ah, muy amable. Every town in Mexico has its Zocalo, where people gather, socialize, where they celebrate national holidays, fiestas. And this weekend, I'm lucky enough to be here for the annual Silver Fair. Shopping.
Tasco's Saturday market is the best place to find great deals.
This is just a silver paradise. There's everything here. Earrings, necklaces, bracelets, baby rattles, barrettes, little silver boxes, funky things, conservative things, ethnic-y things, ravings, religious things, tacky things, things with stones, things with written things on them. If you want silver, come to Tasco. Are you traveling by yourself?
Sure I am.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's it like?
For single women travelers, I've had no problem at all so far. And I speak a little bit of Spanish, that helps a little bit, of course. But yeah, I've found that I tend to use a fair bit of common sense, and that's okay. And I watch my back, and I don't walk down dark streets by myself at night. And all the guys who sort of hablan inglés, no, español is okay. You try to speak their language and they tend to give you a little bit more respect. And so ignore all the little winks and the whistles and the baby, no, go away.
Those beetles?
Sí, jubiles.
Humiles?
Sí, jubiles.
For eating?
Sí.
Así?
Así solo se comen.
Oh, it's really crunchy.
Rico.
It's good. It's rico. It's good for the health. Buena para la salud.
Sí.
Sí.
Tiene proteínas
Protein,
y
protein.
anemias.
For anemia.
¿Gusta probarlo?
Sure, I'd love to try one. Keep an open mind, Justine. Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh! You know what? I'm gonna close my eyes, and you put it in my mouth, okay? Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's like chemicals. I just ate a beetle. I just can't believe I ate a beetle.
From early December onwards, Mexicans celebrate the Day of Our Lady of Guadalupe, Mexico's manifestation of the Virgin Mary. The pilgrimage to her shrine at the Basilica de Guadalupe culminates on December 12th, a national holiday.
No, no gracias. Bullfighting isn't for everyone, and I'm not sure it's for me. This is my first time, but how could I resist? The largest bullfighting ring in the world is here in Mexico City. It holds 60,000 people, and the whole thing is really intriguing. Primitive bullfighting started 2,000 years before Christ in ancient Greece, and the sport is just as dangerous as it was when the Pope tried to ban it in the 16th century. In the last 250 years, half of the greatest matadors in the world have been killed in the ring. I wonder what's going to happen today. Is that a very good matador? Ole! Ole! What does ole mean?
Ole, that's a good one. I know it's Arab.
It's an Arab word.
But I don't know exactly what it means.
Do you know what ole means?
No.
No, no. Do you know what ole means?
I'm not sure.
No, no.
You can ask. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. But they say it with such feeling. Everyone's saying ole. You don't know what you're talking about. Ole, ole, ole.
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 El paso es largo. Ole.
Ole. So there's 3 oles. Okay.
Today at the monumental Plaza Mexico, the star matador is El Juli, a 17-year-old sensation from Spain.
This is one of those rare occasions in the world where millions and millions of people gather in devotional fervor. And I, like an insane person, decided to come and check it out because until you've seen Mexicans adore the Virgin de Guadalupe, you haven't seen Mexico. And this is like the Mexican Mecca.
The Virgin de Guadalupe is Mexico's patron saint. Her image is seen all over the country and her name is used everywhere, in religious ceremonies, literature, and even political speeches.
2.5 days walking? She's given you everything you asked for. You're crying because you're happy. Okay, bueno. How can I pass up a chance for my classic souvenir? Yeah? Gracias. Well, it was worth the visit.
In 1531, a Mexican Indian had a vision of the Virgin, and she commanded that a church be built on this hill where he saw her. Each December, about 5 million Mexicans from all over the country make pilgrimage to the Basilica de Guadalupe. Indian dancers perform for several days, while worshippers pour into the church for round-the-clock services.
Resurrección de tu Hijo, te ofrecemos el pan de vida y el cáliz de salvación, y te damos gracias porque nos haces dignos de servirte en tu presencia. Te pedimos humildemente que el Espíritu.
The Roman Catholic Church connects the spiritual life of most Mexicans, whether they be full-blooded Indian, Spanish, or the great majority, mestizo, a mix combining Indian and Spanish blood. Unlike other saints, the Virgin de Guadalupe was not portrayed as white, but like an Aztec princess with dark skin. Day 7, and just 12 miles south of downtown Mexico City, urban sprawl gives way to a network of canals and flower nurseries known as Xochimilco. 500 years ago, the Valley of Mexico was a lake which the Aztecs transformed into a series of canals. The earth dug up around the canals made fertile gardens. Xochimilco means where the flowers grow, and it's the one place in Mexico City where you can get some feel of the ancient city. Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Not surprisingly, Xochimilco is the favorite weekend spot with Mexican families. For about $8 an hour, you can rent a boat for yourself or for a group any day of the week. Pollution has damaged Xochimilco, but there are still 60 miles of protected canals to navigate through. And if you find yourself hungry or thirsty, never fear, there are always the floating markets.
¿Y qué es esto?
Ese es huitlacoche.
Ah, huitlacoche. That's that corn fungus. Chile relleno. Qué rico. Qué rico. ¿Y es nopales?
Sí.
¿Cactus?
Sí.
Gracias. Gracias. Adiós.
Further on, I came across an island of dolls. This is the surreal side of Mexico, and Don Julian is quite happy to share his little friends with curious tourists.
See?
Para usted, así, para que...
It's a little creepy, don't you think?
Para usted.
No, sí? Gracias.
Para usted.
Ajá. Gracias.
Para usted.
Sí, gracias. Don't go anywhere. You're going to stay right here, no? You've been living here 23 years. ¿Y usted pusiste las muñecas? You put the dolls here?
Ya estaban.
Ah, they were already here.
Yes.
Ah, you cleaned her. They
Sí,
take care of you?
Me cuidan.
They take care. Son espíritus.
Ándese.
They're like spirits. So he's going to show me his favorite doll.
Puede usted pasar.
Gracias.
Puede usted pasar y el que está en la esquinita está acostada, se fija usted.
¿Cuál es su favorita? ¿Esta? With the sunglasses?
Sí, de sus anteojitos.
This is one of the creepiest places I have ever been to, and the strange thing is that he says that these dolls give him comfort. They're like spirits, and he takes care of them and he cleans them off, and he's got all these like weird headdresses on some of them. Oh, this is very strange. You're going to show me a fish that you caught yesterday? Una pescado that you caught yesterday? Oh, wow, that's a nice fish.
Eso es de ayer.
Sí, qué bonita.
Sí.
This is just like one of the creepiest things I have ever seen in my entire life. And he's just blissed out with all these dolls. They're his protectors, his spirits. He cleans them off. He's not bothered that most of them don't have legs or heads or eyeballs. This is such a weird place.
Mexican men and women have traditionally used mariachi bands as accomplices in their courtship and seductions, and the Plaza Garibaldi is where Mexicans go to shop for their ideal band. The bands gather here in the evenings and play until dawn, waiting to be approached by someone who will pay them to play, and for as little as $5 you can have your own private mariachi party. A few hours west of the city, you can escape to the lush, secluded mountains of El Rosario. Every year, billions of monarch butterflies migrate from Canada to the butterfly sanctuary here. In the cool of the morning, the butterflies coat the trees. Later in the day, the humidity forces them to the ground where they form a thick carpet of blazing color. They're an extraordinary sight and well worth the visit. Mexico City is a wild mosaic of disorganization, sophistication, North American commercialization, and on the flip side, it's ritual, mystical, surreal. You can't be in Mexico City and feel nothing. The city's so alive, and everyone has their religion or passion, whether it's for the Virgin de Guadalupe, or bullfighting, or football, or butterflies, or tequila. And with the faces of the indigenous people around you all the time, it's a constant reminder of the past. It's incredible to think that so close to the United States, at my very doorstep, I've only just begun to discover one of the most exotic, sensual, spiritual, intricate, challenging cities I've ever seen. And I'm definitely coming back to see more.